Hi everyone, my name is Colleen Logasa, and the title of my final paper, as well as my main focus for this presentation, is Underrepresentation and Racism in Hollywood. So I will get right into my research question, which is, how do the television and movie industries not only misrepresent and underrepresent minorities, but also contribute to their body image insecurities? My thesis statement, and what I argue and explore throughout my paper, is that the lack of representation on film, as well as the ways in which minorities are portrayed on film, greatly contribute to the body image issues concerning minorities, specifically the African American and Asian communities. The resources that I have used and the places that I have seen this are in the films and television shows Breakfast at Tiffany's, The Help, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, Hidden Figures, Modern Family, Austin Powers, and Rocky. I have also read posts from DW and Braindance, and articles from Feminist Media Studies Journal, Sage Journal, and Southern Cultures Journal. I also explored a few different chapters from the books Understanding Media and Culture, An Introduction to Mass Communication, and The Hollywood Jim Crow, The Racial Politics of the Movie Industry, just to name a few of my sources. So let's dive into my findings, first with the underrepresentation and misrepresentation of African Americans on film. America's earliest forms of entertainment dates back to the 1830s, and they were called minstrel shows. A minstrel show is a type of stage performance featuring songs, dances, and formulaic comic routines based on stereotype depictions of African Americans. These performances often consisted of white actors dressing up in blackface to further carry out these negative stereotypes. Even when black actors would get hired, they would have to act as those same stereotyped characters. They had to make fun of themselves and their whole race just to make some money and keep a job. Even though there has been a lot of progress since minstrel shows, and white actors aren't really painting their faces black anymore, the current roles that African American actors are playing are often still carrying out older stereotypes. Black actors typically do not play a main character, but the best friend or sidekick to the main white character. Also, black male characters are often portrayed as scary or tough, and are normally the ones to die first in scary movies. Black female characters are often portrayed as sassy or have a maid or servant occupation. Next, we will focus on the underrepresentation and misrepresentation of Asians on film. Similar to blackface, white actors have also dressed in yellowface to act out Asian characters. The term yellowface is used to refer to the practice of wearing makeup to imitate the appearance of an Asian person. This act is done in a harmful way and further perpetuates negative Asian stereotypes. Again, while we don't see something as obviously offensive as yellowface performances happening anymore, the Asian community is still highly stereotyped on camera. It is also uncommon for an Asian character to be the main character. They are often side characters for white actors. They are either portrayed as being extremely smart or extremely illiterate when speaking the English language. There's no in between. Asian characters are also often business owners or shopkeepers and are very skilled in some form of martial arts. Some people might be thinking, why does any of this matter? It's just a movie, or it's just a TV show. However, it is way more than just a movie or a TV show when these portrayals are greatly impacting the way that these minorities see themselves. This all comes down to body image. And according to Medical News Today, body image refers to how an individual sees their own body and how attractive they find themselves to be. The film industry first contributed to body image insecurities for minorities by allowing blackface and yellowface performances to happen. For far too long, the film industry would only hire white actors and wanted white actors to play minority characters instead of hiring minority actors. Seeing a white person attempt to dress like and objectify a minority race and or culture can be extremely damaging to how that minority sees themselves or their own race and culture. It is especially damaging for young and impressionable children and teenagers of minorities to see white people act out and do nothing but make fun of and slander how they look or their identity. Additionally, never seeing someone that looks like you on the big screen that is a main character and gets a happy ending could make you feel like you'll never get a happy ending. These minority children and teens have a harder time finding a role model or a character that they feel that they can relate to. It is so important for actors of all races to play characters of their own race and to act them out in a non-stereotypical way so that everyone can feel good about themselves, the way they look, the color of their skin, their facial features, etc. So again, some people might still not believe that these movies or poor portrayals have a big impact on us as a whole, but the relationship between movies and our culture is actually very dynamic. Films help reflect common beliefs about what it means to be American, as well as our trends, issues, and big events. In the book, Understanding Media and Culture, An Introduction to Mass Communication, author Jack Lowell states that, quote, "While American movies certainly influence the mass culture that consumes them, they are also an integral part of that culture, a product of it, and therefore a reflection of prevailing concerns, attitudes, and beliefs." End quote. And this is from section 8.3 of the book. This shows how the relationship between films and culture is cyclical, in a sense that it models films based off our culture, yet our culture is based off of what we see on film. If movies are portraying racial stereotypes, then the culture will start to evolve around that. Similarly, if society is carrying out negative stereotypes, then that is the culture that movies will represent. Although this is a complex relationship, I still believe that the film industries carry out racism in a way that is more impactful on culture than culture is on it. Television shows have a similar impact on our culture and society to the impact that movies have. One of the most beloved forms of television shows are sitcoms. These sitcoms often revolve around an average American family. However, they do not seem to accurately display the average American family, but more so the idealized version of the American family to a white American. After all, minority families are still American families, yet they were never represented as a traditional American family in these sitcoms. Now, I understand that this has been pretty negative. However, it is important to note that some progress has been made. As far as representation and portrayals of African Americans on film goes, the 2016 film Hidden Figures is a way more positive and accurate portrayal of African Americans. Author and activist Ibnat Islam wrote for herculture.org stating that, quote, "Hidden Figures is an impactful movie in a time of social awareness. It is an informative medium to those who do not identify with the struggle faced by Black women, and a powerful message to these women and girls that their resilience and intelligence is significant and ever present." End quote. Because this is a positive and accurate portrayal, it also serves to educate those that have been misinformed. The main characters in this film also serve as role models for young African American girls. They are able to prove the importance of embracing their true selves and loving themselves regardless of the hate and systemic and societal pressures that will attempt to restrain them. As for representation and portrayals of Asians, the 2018 Netflix film To All the Boys I've Loved Before is groundbreaking. This movie surrounds the love life, home life, and high school life of an Asian American teenage girl. This is one of the first films to feature an Asian girl as the main character who gets her own love story and fairy tale ending. She's a great role model for other Asian girls. She embraces herself and her culture and never tries to hide that from her white boyfriend. While I am certainly pleased by movies like these two, it is not enough to make up for hundreds of years of underrepresentation, misrepresentation, and racism carried out by the movie and TV industries. So here is my works cited page. I have my primary sources listed on here, and then my secondary sources here if you guys want to take a deeper look at this topic yourself. And thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed learning about this as much as I did. I look forward to reading your comments and questions and also watching your videos as well. Good luck with the rest of your finals. Bye.